Good morning.
Hello.
Today we wanted to kind of do a video that you guys could get to know us a little better from. And so we are just going to ask each other some random questions.
While drinking coffee.
What's your question to me?
No, that's not your first question. You gotta come up with the first question.
No, you gotta
No,
come
you
up with
just
the
asked
question.
me. This is get to know us right here.
Fine. What was your first job when you moved to Dallas? And how much money did you make?
When I first moved to Dallas, my first job, I think, was UPS. I worked in the factory, and I would go in at I believe 2 or 3 in the morning, and I would load UPS trucks. And I think I made like $10 an hour.
How old were you?
19 or 20.
Interesting.
What was your first car, and did you like it, or were you just excited that you had a car?
So, people are probably going to hate me now after this. When I was in high school, my mom had a friend. He was just a family friend. All my brothers worked for him, and I think my mom did a couple jobs for him also, but he helped out our family a lot. He paid for everything I needed for school, and then when it came time for me to get a car, I think he worked on cars too, and so he was always had cars and stuff coming in and out, and he would bring a random car over, be like, do you like this car? No, I don't like it. And I started being picky, and so I think he had 5 different cars, and I wanted a Volkswagen Bug, and I think one day he almost bought me one, and I don't remember why he didn't, but I don't know, it just, a lot of time had passed. I still didn't have a car, and eventually he got a Ford Escort Sport. I don't know what year it was, but it was a little tiny white car. It was great on gas, and I had that for 4 years, and that was my first car, and I loved it.
The first car Jared and I ever had was a green 1992 Ford Aerostar van, and that was in high school, and Jared and I were the oldest people in our grade, so we were the only ones driving. We were older than everyone by at least 6 months, something like that, and we would drive everyone everywhere, and we'd go paintballing in the van. We would take everybody to go to the skate park in the van. We were known for that van, the Green Machine. And when our parents first gave it to us to have, I was so embarrassed. I was like, we're starting high school in a minivan.
At least you had a car.
Well, I know.
Are we supposed to answer our own questions too?
No, this is funny to me. But the first official girlfriend I ever had was in high school, and her dad would pick her up right outside the front doors every day after school. And he drove this big old truck, and of course we live down here in South Texas. So he pulls up, and I walk out with her, and I don't know.
Make fun of you.
Well, to meet him or whatever, I guess. I don't know if I knew him, but I don't think I'd ever met him at the time. And so I met him, and he said, he was asking me questions. He said, so, what kind of car you drive? And I said, that green van right over there. And he looked over and he started laughing. He said, haha, that's funny. And I said, yeah, the back seats fold down. And he said, all right, kid, you better be safe, blah, blah, blah. His whole attitude changed. Of course, I never did anything like that, but it was pretty funny. I was always a smart mouth kid when it came back to comebacks, so I have not changed.
It's your turn to ask me a question, bro.
I know, but that's a funny story.
He went on 2 stories there.
They wanted to know. Mm-hmm. They asked.
Mm-hmm.
What would be a good question?
Time's a ticking, bro.
I know. We can't edit this out either, guys. We're doing full live, unedited. growing up
I did that. Mm-hmm.
with 6 brothers,
Also did that. Mm-hmm.
if you could change, would you have rather grown up with 6 sisters and 1 brother?
I don't know. My sister's my favorite, but I think it also makes it more special that she's the only one. So I don't know. That's a weird question.
I would rather have 2 brothers than Jared and Matt that I had.
Would you trade with me?
No. My brothers for your brothers?
I feel like that would be more of a question for my mom.
Yeah, she's the one that deal with all y'all.
But I mean, growing up, I wasn't close to all my brothers. My sister moved away when I was really young, and me and my sister are like 16 years apart. So she moved to Texas when I was like maybe 3 or 4, and then we came when I was 6, and so I was super shy as a kid, and I was literally scared of my sister. I was so shy, and it took a while for me to warm up to her, but I warmed up to her more than any of my brothers. I spent a lot of time with her and my nieces. When my first niece came, I almost lived with my sister, and I just babysat all the time, and I was really, really close to her, and I don't think I would change it. I love the bond that I have with my sister, and I wouldn't want any other sisters to come in on that.
Can I tell them a funny story?
I don't know. Can you?
It's not bad.
Okay.
It's when I was a kid. I don't know how old I was. Pretty small. And I was shy. And I mean, a lot of you probably...
Wait, hold on, wait. Jason, were you shy as a kid?
No way. I was very shy. I was over the top shy and very, scared of everything. And my mom had the neighbor come over, which was like her best friend. And I had known her forever. We knew their kids and stuff. And that's the cat in the litter box, if you can hear it.
I don't know why they scratched the walls.
But she was coming over. And I remember just like looking out the window and seeing her, or her knocking on the door or something. And I'm just like, what do I do?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what do I do? I'm standing there in my underwear with a big long t-shirt on. Because that's what kids wore back in the day when they were just at home. And I was like, what do I do? And so she's coming in the front door, and I couldn't run across to my room because she'd see me. So in the corner between the 2 couches, I ducked down and put a blanket over me. And I tried to stay still because I'm like, okay, she'll only be here for like a minute. And she was there for probably 30 minutes, and I laid underneath that blanket in a little ball, trying not to move. And then I finally started to move, and they were just like, Jason? And I just remember being so terrified of her seeing me. And I knew the lady. I was just so shy, and I hid underneath the blanket for like 30 minutes in the corner.
I was the same way.
So now I gotta ask you a question. How far along are we here? 8 minutes in already? Dang, I could tell stories all day.
I know.
Things have changed.
So you guys know like 2 things about me and 6 things about Jason.
Oh, well. Let's see. I wish this was live and we can ask them, but we can't. But hopefully you're drinking coffee with us. What is your favorite trip you've ever been on in your entire life? It could even be a short 1-day trip or whatever, just your the one you enjoyed the most.
It was that one trip to the Dallas Arboretum the first day we met.
No.
I think my favorite trip, I really had fun on our trip to Colorado. I don't think growing up we really took trips. I can't tell you anywhere that we ever went besides like locally.
I so wish you could tell them the story. You know what I'm talking about. I
Jason
didn't even have to. What?
The way that I talk.
No.
What?
That's not the story.
Oh, I thought you were making fun of the way that I...
No way. It's a story about how your brother jumped in the front seat of the car.
Oh, I mean, that wasn't my favorite trip.
No, but I wish you could tell that story because it's so funny.
I can. My mom would tell
Okay,
people.
Then go ahead. This is absolutely amazing. We're probably going to end on this one.
Well, let me talk about my favorite
trips.
I think all of my favorite trips would be all the ones that we've taken together. Totally serious. Trip to Colorado, the whole last week of Warped Tour last year, and going to Panama Beach. That was amazing.
Yeah, Panama City Beach. We literally would get in the water and just like hold your hand out, and fish would swim in it, and we'd lift fish up out of the air, and it was so cool.
Well, I didn't, but he did.
So tell them this good. This is how we're going to end Coffee with the Crockers today.
Let us know.
And it's pretty funny, I think.
If you have kids, you as a parent, let us know your craziest horror stories about your kids, because this is probably one of my mom's. And my mom's not a Patreon, so she probably won't see this anyways.
She wouldn't even care.
Yeah.
You're going to tell the whole
for
story,
Patreon?
right? Yeah. No, this is going on YouTube as Coffee with the Crockers later.
Well,
she's going to watch.
She is not going to care. She would tell you herself if she was here. So I think it was me, my 2 little brothers, and my 4 older brothers. And we were driving somewhere. I could get the details wrong, but I don't know where. So I'm not going to say like all the details, but I don't know where we were going.
But where were you driving?
Where?
Or what?
I think we were driving like a station wagon or a van.
That makes the story better. It paints a picture.
And it was an evening stroll, driving down the highway. The sun started going down.
It was dusk.
It was at dusk, and my mom, like everyone in their lives, just had to go to the bathroom.
And I've been there plenty of times.
And as you know, when you're traveling, sometimes there's rest stops every so often, and sometimes they aren't so close, and neither are any cities. So she had to go, and she tried to hold it.
The bubble guts. if you're not getting the picture here.
And she had to just stop on the side of the highway to go to the bathroom. And so she pulled over onto the shoulder of the highway, and she got out. She threw me a towel and said, "Come on, you're helping me." She had me hold the towel up so she could go to the bathroom.
That's privacy.
Yes. So we walked a little ways off of away from the road, and all of a sudden my mom started freaking out. She wasn't done going to the bathroom, and she just pulled her pants up, as far as I can remember, and she just started running. I think my oldest brother, who was pretty young at the time, climbed into the front seat and started driving off. And
as your mom's pooing on the side of the highway.
And I'm not really sure what happened after that. That's all I really remember. I'll have to ask my mom. Maybe she could tell you guys one day.
That would be hilarious if she talked about it.
I'm sure she has plenty of horror stories.
Could you imagine you're pulling over and you're like, because I've been there recently, and I'm just like, oh, I ain't gonna make it. And you basically just have to go. And so I cannot imagine
having all the kids.
Well, that and being there, kind of doing your thing with your daughter holding a towel around you. Next thing you know, your car starts moving, and your freaking son jumps into the driver's seat and starts driving off with your car as you're trying to like deal with your problem. I don't know. That's pretty funny.
I mean, it's pretty funny, and it's like that's something that someone would tell you, and you'd probably not believe.
Yeah,
it happened.
To me, it reminds me of that TV show, if anyone ever watched it, Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what it reminds me of.
And that's exactly how my brothers were, but like double, because there were 6 of them.
Yeah, so that's pretty funny. I thought it was funny. So we're going to end today's Coffee with Crocker with that, because I'm pretty much out of coffee.
I'm getting there.
And I just want to say thanks to you guys. This was actually on Patreon first for like the first week. And then we're going to make this go live to the world if anyone wants to watch it. And to prove that this is early in the morning and this is real coffee with the Crockers, I'm sitting here in my boxers.
Well, I'm wearing the same shirt I wore yesterday. Why? Because they're my PJs.
There you go. So, guys, thank you for joining us with Coffee with the Crockers. We'll do this again tomorrow. If you have anything you want us to talk about, just comment below. This is just like our normal YouTube channel. We listen to you guys.
If you have a story, a crazy story about your kids, comment your story below. And I think if we get enough, I think it'd be funny if we just did a video where we just talked about your guys' stories.
We watch them, a watch party.
We read them. They
yeah.
type it out. And we'll read them to you guys, but then we'll talk about it and why we think it's funny.
That'd be funny. So we'll see you tomorrow
Yeah.
on Coffee with the Rockers.